Hi crafters, I'm Robbie Susan Chandler from RobbieSusanCardsandCrafts.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. I'm here to share a project with you, so let's get started. Today I'm going to demonstrate a vintage card using the Faux Linen Technique with tissue paper. This is the card we'll be making. And I did this card at my Mother's Day class last week, so that's why it has Happy Mother's Day on it. But today we're going to be making it a birthday card. So let's take a look at the pieces that we'll need. The card base is crumb cake, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. The next layer is a piece of Mary Merlot, and it's 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and it was embossed with the Fern embossing folder, and that's why it has this beautiful fern look on it. For the inside, we'll use a piece of Very Vanilla that's also 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And I actually cut it with the decal dies and cut it down and stamped my cinnamon on the inside so it looks like this. I love this decal detail, and we'll be using this decal die on the front, so I wanted to use it on the inside also. Also, we need a strip of Blushing Bride, 1 inch by 5 1/4, and we're going to cut this piece with the Elegant Border dies, and I used this one right here. These are an online exclusive, so you have to go out to our online store and look for online exclusives to find this die set. So we're going to adhere our fern embossed piece to our crumb cake card front, and then we adhere this piece right down this side. Alright, so that's the basic part of our card front. Now let's look at some other pieces. We need a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, just basic white paper. This is going to be our base for adhering our tissue paper to. And what you'll need to do is spray this piece with some type of spray adhesive. I just happen to have this at the house and use this on mine. But let's do some stamping before we get to that part. Alright, so get yourself a piece of tissue paper, and I discovered that tissue paper is shiny on one side and matte on the other, which I didn't know until I started doing this project. So you want to use the matte side, because we found out the hard way that the shiny side is very slicky and doesn't take ink too well. So we're going to start stamping our flower with the one from Desert Details. It's this one right here. And we're going to use the Mary Merlot ink. Now when you're stamping on your tissue paper, you want to keep your stamping towards the center, because when you get ready to cut it, we're going to cut it with this smaller die, and you see it cuts mostly here in the center section. So let's start with, let's put one flower here, and then we'll put another one like right here. And while your ink is still a little damp, take a blending brush and just kind of brush around that ink in the middle, and you see how it makes your flower more pinky and instead of all white. It gives it a good vintage look. See the difference? Alright, so we've got our flower. Now let's add some leaves. And the leaves we're using are from the stamp set Plentiful Plants. And we're using this leaf. And we're also going to use Evening Evergreen. So let's put a few leaves in. Let's add one in this area. And let's put one up here at the top. And let's add one in this hole right here. Maybe one down here. Let's get the stem turned around. Okay. All right, so there's our leaves. Now we also want to add a butterfly, and I used the Butterfly Brilliant stamp set, and I stamped it in crumb cake. So let's add a few butterflies around. Let's put one up here by the flowers. And let's add one down here below. Well, you know, all of these aren't going to make the cut, as we say, because we're going to be cutting them out, but maybe a portion of it will show, so we'll add some in here just in case. Okay, there's our butterflies. We also want to add some dots on this. So I used the dots from Irresistible Blooms, and we're also going to stamp those in crumb cake. So just kind of randomly put you some dots around, kind of fill in this white spot. Okay, I think that looks good. Now here's the part people have trouble with sometimes. They don't like to do this part, but you're going to take your tissue paper and wad it up. I know that's hard to do for a lot of people, but that's what you have to do. All right, now let's take our white piece that I've already sprayed with adhesive. In the past I've also used stick glue, and it works pretty well, but don't usually have that on hand. Okay, here is our stamped piece. Make sure you've got it with the dull side up. I believe we stamped it this way. Yes, okay. So start at the top and just kind of lay it there, and you don't want to spread it out totally. You want a few wrinkles in it. As you can see, I just kind of start tapping it down. Smooth it down, but leave a few wrinkles. Okay. Let's see how that looks. We got wrinkles there like we planned. Now to give this, let's vintage this a little bit. So to do that, let's take our crumb cake and just start smearing some, or blending, I'll use the word smearing, blending some crumb cake ink around. And as you're doing this, you'll notice it picks up your wrinkles, giving that more of a faux linen and a vintage look. So a little bit more. All right, I think that's plenty for this one. One thing, if you do too much, to me it starts looking what I call dirty, and you don't want it too dirty. You just want it distressed looking. Okay, so you're now going to take this piece, go over to your Big Shot, and figure out where you want to cut it. This one I like right here. I think it cuts perfectly right there. So, magic of filming. I've already cut that one out. And another step to this piece is to take the Stitched Greenery die, which has this beautiful cut design, and run it through with that. And I'm going to bring it up close and hope that you can see this stitch design in it that that die makes. I think that's lovely. It gives it a great look. Okay, so let's put a little piece of ribbon around here. And I like to use just some snail to just catch this ribbon. This kind of ribbon doesn't work well if you try to put liquid adhesive on it, and it just really makes a mess. All right, let's look at the front and see where we have it. See if we like where it is. Oh yeah, that's good. Great. All right, on our front, we've already adhered our fern embossed piece and our elegant border die down the side. So with dimensionals on the back, let's adhere our artwork. And I always like to put one dimensional in the middle, because if you've got a big piece, it'll sag on you. So let's pop this on about right here. I like to bring a little bit over on that piece. And then this piece is my happy birthday, and it was cut with a die from the Stitch rectangle framelits. And we'll just pop it down here. About right a little bit under that lace. I think right there is good. Okay, and then on the inside, I've already adhered the "You're a blessing to everyone around you," and you can put any sentiment you want inside, so that's up to you. And there's that deckled edge again, repeating the deckled edge here. So I hope you like this card, and we'll try to make it yourself. I love this faux linen technique. It gives a really cool look. I have put a link below for a free tutorial with all the instructions on it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And until next time, happy crafting.